He's losing it.
Just grab a soju bottle since you're at it. For yourself.
Yeah.
No, for yourself.
I'm not gonna drink.
No, because this for me.
No,
You're gonna drink the whole thing.
Bet money on it.
Oh, this might be so stupid.
See?
This is a terrible.
Bet money on it, because I would. You know me.
Yeah, this will fuck you up, bro. This one's like 17%.
So you
We'll
specifically
switch though. We'll
made it
switch.
just us four?
The first one, yeah.
Okay, we'll switch.
For the first one?
What's up?
For this one, it's just us four?
Yeah, this one's just us first.
Just that's what Justin.
Alright.
Yeah. The logo is crazy. Nah, I'm just kidding. Katie's seeing what she can do.
That's cool. That's not in a rush. Alright, you guys ready to start?
Let's do it.
Alright, so.
Alright, which one is
This one's for you two, this one's for us two.
Okay.
Alright, we'll start. Alright, so welcome to the first episode of Poor Decisions. I'm gonna be your host, Brian. Joining with me today, Ethan.
Hey guys.
That's so hard.
I thought he was going to introduce all of us.
We got Raymond
What's up?
and Justin. So, alright. So the first thing I got for you guys, we were mentioning that earlier. So, do you think that we're all finishing school soon? A lot of people relate, or there's a thing called post-college depression, and that has something to do with loss of structure. What I mean by that is, so growing up, middle school, what are you doing? Getting good grades. High school, what? College, job. Once you're at the job, what do you set for yourself to like keep yourself, I guess, motivated if you don't have like a set goal afterwards?
Oh. Personally, I don't believe in that because like I haven't had like consistent job after school because I'm still in school. But I think that only exists when people don't try to accomplish more, maybe. Like you're not trying to reach a new level, like, hey, like I got this position now, I want like this position, you know, like you have to really set goals for yourself. Not just like career wise, I guess, like also like health or like mental health wise.
Mhm.
If you set goals for yourself, I feel like you're never going to get in a depressed stage where you're always like reminiscing about the past, you know, because you're always looking towards the future. But that's just for me though. What about you, Ray?
I feel like it's a really relatable question. Like post-grad depression, I would say it's very, I don't know. It's easy to get stuck in that loop. Yeah, especially when there's no more structure. I guess for me, like working, I guess part-time jobs that aren't really career jobs after college, and it's like it's easy to get comfortable, and then I guess it's easy to get sad when you're trying to like think about, oh, I wish like I was able to accomplish this or be able to do this, but you're kind of stuck in your own situation. I don't even know where I'm going with this. I don't know. It's
Let's say for you, Justin, like you have a pretty like set like structure going forward, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you'll reach like a block, like, oh, I'm just doing this every day and like that's it, like, because let's say like your career right now, like how would you move forward from that? And if not, then like where do you find that motivation to keep doing it?
Okay, mine's kind of different because I'm mine's kind of different because I'm working towards something, right? So right now I'm a master's student trying to get into grad school, like to MD school. So I'm consistently working towards like one specific goal.
Okay.
And I wouldn't be able to tell you a story like where what happens when I go to MD, like what I get bored of every day.
Mhm.
But at least what I think is that if I become an MD, I will still want to be the best MD. So like I'll continue keep working to like refine or like to improve my knowledge to be the best at what I can do. So I don't think I'll ever get like in a position where like like every day's the same. I'm stuck because I'm always trying to improve until like I can no longer improve.
Do you think that's something specific for like medical? Because like usually in medical you don't really like, I wouldn't say not move up, but like it's generally like the same versus like let's say a business position, like business, like as you move up there's like different branches, but like for yours it's probably like the same branch.
No, I've heard some of the physicians I work with, they honestly do not like their job because they're doing the same thing every day.
Mhm.
But I feel like if you like your job, you wouldn't mind doing the same thing every day.
Mhm.
Even if it's like tedious or monotonous where like you're doing the same thing every day. Like if you really truly like it, there's some doctors who like see the same patients or like see patients with the same issue every single day, but they do enjoy treating that issue, so they don't mind it doing it every single day.
So it's just something you enjoy, right?
Yeah, if you still enjoy it, then I don't think you mind.
Yeah, like dude, like if you like having sex like all the time, you're not gonna get bored of that, right? Okay, I get that.
So I guess it's like if you find like, I guess, not a job, but like more so your passion that you're working on, then it's different.
Yeah.
And then let's say in relation to this, do you think setting expectations leads to unhappy results?
Oh, that's a great question. Alright, I'll let you guys. That's a great question.
I don't think so. Like, if I expect myself to reach a goal, even though if I don't meet that expectation, it's not. I feel like you're not gonna automatically be discouraged. At least I know, for me, like if I tried my hardest, then and I didn't reach my goal, at least I gave my all for it.
Do you think like instead of setting expectations, a better thing would just be like, accepting like what you have right now? So like there's people that are like more focused on like future based, and there's people that are more focused on the present.
Ooh. I think I mean you can go either way. I guess it just depends on the person themselves. I guess like focusing on the present is nice. Okay, like I like the situation I'm in. I'm like comfortable in it. I'm cool with being in this moment. But I think when you set expectations for yourself, I guess you're like constantly challenging yourself to be able to get the most out of what you're doing. And I feel like I guess it just depends on your personality. If you're like a go-getter versus like someone that's okay with just being comfortable in like certain spots, I would say.
Okay. And then for all of you guys, do you think you've ever like had a time where like you're content? Like,
Dang, that's a great question. Cause
and if you do, like, let's say not now, and like you set it for a future. What if, for example, your content future is this, but like you don't end up reaching that? Will that prevent you from ever being content?
whoa, oh shit.
That's a lot of questions.
That's a deep ass question. Okay.
Alright, but okay, the first one, I don't think I would ever reach a point of contentness, because just from personal experience, I haven't reached my goal yet.
Mhm.
So like, I wouldn't know how that feels yet. Like compared to someone else that has like a consistent job, 9 to 5, like, or something that they do every day, and then they realize that. Because I'm still like striving towards something, so I wouldn't have a perspective on that yet. But I feel like even if I do get to a point like that, just knowing myself, I wouldn't be content with anything, because I'm always striving for like to be the best. I don't know if it's cocky or anything.
But like your contentness reason for like, I haven't reached that yet, or like I'm still aiming for it. I'm saying like, let's say in like at different points of like you're like, let's say like some point in college, high school, like did you have like a moment where like this is good, like I'm cool with this?
Actually, no, never. I never had to go like just I'll use like workout for an instance. Like sometimes like I'll put a bar for myself. Let's say I want to bench 2 plates. I get there, I'm like, dang, like I'm not settling here. Like I already reached this goal. I'm gonna keep going. Like push through the roof. You know what I'm saying? like, but I haven't reached that point yet in my life, so I wouldn't know though. But I get how a lot of people fall into that. Like a lot of people say trap. You fall into that like. And then stuck in the matrix, you get content with your like life or whatever, and you don't strive for greatness. But it just depends on the person. If they really enjoy what they're doing, like yeah, they're content, they're happy, then that's fine. It just really depends on the person, what they're trying for.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answered your question, because like I was kind of confused a little.
No, I don't think there's a straightforward answer. I was just wondering your guys' perspective. All right. So these are a little more. So that one was a little more serious, but all right. So I'm gonna give you guys a list. So I found a thing on Reddit. So basically, guy codes. You guys can tell me whether or not you agree with it. And
Guy code?
Guy
Like
guy
15%?
guy code. Like just like unspoken rules that like just naturally apply. All right. So first one, let's say if we say something to you and you interpret it in 2 different ways, and one way it upsets you, it's probably the other way.
Fuck. Someone take over, bro. I don't know.
So let's say you're explaining to your girlfriend something and she takes it the wrong way when there's like a double meaning to it. More often than not, it's probably never your intent to upset them, right?
Yeah.
So it's probably the other way.
Yeah, definitely the other way. Yeah, I wouldn't say something with intent to like fucking disrespect you.
Or like even let's say not even to your girl, like let's say like someone else. Because if you are saying something to like, let's say disrespect someone, it's gonna be said straight up.
Yeah. I wouldn't indirectly say it to them. Yeah, I'll say like, hey, like if I don't like fuck you, like as straight up as possible. It's not like beating around the bush when you're trying to like tell somebody something. But that's like, again, for me, because I know some guys do it really indirectly.
Passive aggressive.
Yeah, like, and I'm like, dude, stop with that lame shit. Just say straight up. Like, I'm not trying to dissect your mind and see what like you're trying to say or whatnot. I think that's just for guys though. Like, we're just trying to say it straight up as possible.
Okay, and then let's say so in that situation, do you feel like that's where like both guys and girls have like a different like understanding? Like for girls, like, oh, maybe he means this, maybe he means that, but like for guys it's like straight up. And let's say some girl is trying to how do you say, give you signals that she's interested in you. If it's not directly like, how to say, obvious, you're not gonna take it that way,
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If it's straight up, then you'll definitely take it straight up. If it's anything less, then it's
Yeah, I'm like, wow, she's just really friendly, dude. Like,
Yeah, I feel like it's best not to just jump to conclusions
Mhm.
on stuff like that.
next one. We'll help you out of almost any situation, but we'll probably cuss you out in the process of it.
whoa.
I feel like it's pretty true.
Yeah.
Especially with like your close homies. Then yeah, like you'll tell them they're dumb for whatever like situation they get them stuck in, but you'll do what you can to like help them out if it's reasonable, unless it's like they've done something crazy. But
And then you're just like,
Yeah.
man, you're such an idiot. Still,
Yeah.
still doing the thing.
but
for
yeah,
them. Let's see. Eyebrow and glance is a big message with no words. You think guys can speak pretty well without saying anything?
yeah, I think so.
Like,
So let's say something's going, like people are talking in a group or whatever, and then I look over you and then like I just give you a look and like you can probably like read each other like, oh, you feel like a different way about the situation.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's not just for guys about that though. Girls sometimes.
It's kinda
do that too,
universal.
Yeah. Like girls are like
But-
really stink face and then don't
But,
mention
but,
action.
but like, that's like very blatant though. Like I feel like ours is not like as how do you say, obvious to everyone.
I don't know. Kind of depends too, cause like, dude, some like oh wait, then how would you explain this? Like some people like couples, right?
Mhm.
If they're like sitting in a room with a bunch of people and they're saying absurd shit all the time, the couples will just like not even look at each other and they already know like this is gonna be an awkward situation. Like let's say like me and Katie, we wouldn't even look at each other. Everybody's agreeing to absurd shit. We would just be like, and then later on afterwards in the car, we'll be like, damn, did you hear that? Yeah, like dude, I didn't want to stare at you because like everybody's gonna see. Like I think it's just a connection thing. Like I don't even think it's just like guys.
Gender
Yeah,
related?
gender. Yeah.
All right, this is definitely something guy related. If we can do something by throwing or tossing, we'll probably resort to that and not walk.
yeah,
Yeah.
I hella do that work.
Yeah. Every day, I do that shit.
All right. Let's see. When you see someone, you nod up to acknowledge them. You nod down to respect them.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a culture thing though versus like a gender thing.
Well, see, the only reason I say guy code just because like you don't really see girls. Like you see another girl. Like
That's true.
Wait, so guys like nod up to say what's up, and then this is like respectful?
I never seen a nod down.
Well, I don't think guys nod down to each other, but like let's say like
Oh no, I nod down to like so like if I walk past like another dude, right, and it's like really awkward tension in the hallways or something.
you're like tuck your head down.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
like,
you're
move
like-
around.
Yeah, and you
it's
just
like,
go, you know,
oh,
like,
okay.
or like when you walk through the door, you open it, and someone opens the door for you. Instead of saying thank you, you're just like, you know, and then walk
Oh,
past.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? You guys do that, right?
Yeah.
Like, but you guys just don't acknowledge it, you know? Like some really awkward tension, like me and like 10 like other people walking past, and they just all look at me, and I'm like, and then just walk past, you know? And they're like, oh, okay, right?
Yeah. All right. This is more so for like, let's say between us four. Let's say if you're talking with girls and they're talking about a homie that you know likes them, you'll drop good words for them casually.
Homies that
No.
you don't like.
No, that you do like. So let's say you're talking with a group of girls and you know that let's say I like one of them. is it likely for you to like say something nice if you know ahead, or like you're not gonna bring it
You're
up?
like, Brian ugly as hell, bro. Screw that guy. And they're like, oh my god. Nah, yeah, I'll be like, yeah, he's cool. Nah, he's not even that lame. Like, he's pretty funny. He's not even that lame with his curly ass hair. He's pretty cool.
All right. All right. If we're talking behind someone's back about something, they probably know because we would probably say it to their face.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I feel like not so much as like saying it straight to their face too. You could just tell as well, like by that energy as well. I feel like it's pretty obvious if you like feel a type of way
No.
between guys at least.
Or like what I'm saying by this is like, let's say like we're making fun of our one friend that's particularly late, right?
Okay.
Like me saying it to you, like, oh my god, he's always so late, yada yada. It's never something that like I would never say like to him.
Tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the guy thing. Yeah, that's definitely the guy thing.
Okay. Let's see. Word is bond. If I told someone I will do it, I will do it.
Nah.
No?
I think it's dependent.
Yeah,
It's dependent on the what guy and what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because
Like William.
I feel like it's very easy to flake on things depending on your relationship.
Grudges are rarely held. So we could have a full-on fight in one night and have a fallout, and the next morning we could be completely fine.
After recent events, seems like it's not really a guy thing.
I don't know.
But I feel like generally that's true for guys.
Yeah, no, generally, no, for sure. I would say, yeah. I feel like most of the time you
It's
Don't-
less prideful and more so like just to get things keep going.
yeah, or like you try not to hold on to yeah.
I mean, you could say that too, but I feel like for guys, when they get in an argument when it's older, it never goes back to the same.
Oh,
But
like there's always like lingering like.
Yeah, like no matter what, there's gonna be tension. But for like girls, it's like if they're really tight, they just let it fly by.
Okay.
And then like when they get in a fight, they list out like all these things like they did to them like previously, and then they forgave each other. So it's like
Alright.
weird ass shit.
Restroom etiquette. Men's restroom line is short because no one is talking in there.
Oh
shit.
Oh shit.
I never considered that. Why are lines so short? I didn't know girls talk inside of bathrooms.
I take photos.
I feel like they're usually like in groups though, no? Versus like
I just
guys
thought
don't
that-
like, hey, like come to the bathroom with me.
I just thought that we do our stuff a lot faster, maybe.
That
I mean-
also has consideration too, but like we don't talk like it is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's because we have like urinate holes, right?
Yeah.
But girls have to go to the toilet, and there's only so much toilet you can put in the bathroom. But we have toilets and the urinary hole just for peeing.
Mhm.
So that's why it's faster for guys.
But that's why like the thing about it was like, oh, it's not just that like the speed thing. Like also like when have you ever like shut the whole conversation in the restroom?
Oh, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Talk outside.
Have you ever taken a photo in the restroom too?
No.
Exactly. All right. Let's see. If someone wants to do something stupid, you first try to talk them out of it. If they still want to do it, then you film it.
Talk them out of it?
Yeah.
No, I talked them into it, dude.
All
For
right.
me, no.
just so you can see it.
I talked them into it and I recorded.
But I feel like it's so that you can take off the like, not like stress, but like, you don't have like they can't go back just like, hey, why didn't you tell me not to do it? It's like I did. You still want to do it? I just filmed it just because you weren't fighting me anyways.
Not for me. For maybe them too. I don't know. I never like. I usually talk them into doing it, and then laugh after too. People are like, "You're so retarded." Oops, my bad. You're so stupid.
Yeah, I'll talk them out.
I
Yeah.
would probably try to talk them out of it.
And then
if
afterwards,
I know it's stupid.
then you just let them go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then I'll watch it happen, and then I'll laugh.
All right. So this is a little different one. All right. So let's say your friend calls out your girlfriend for cheating, but he makes a mistake, and you already talked to your girl about it.
Oh man, don't look at me. I don't know.
So let's say I come to you and I tell you, oh, dude, I saw Katie. She was
Yeah.
something like happened, and then later on I come back just like, oh, fuck, my bad.
Like, nah, it's good. Nah, it's good. Squaring up, dude. That was a hard one.
That's rough.
Yeah,
That depends on the person.
Yeah, definitely depends on the person who it is too.
Okay. Let's see. All right, another rule. Let's say for in a relationship, you can drive her car, but she cannot drive yours.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That's some. Yeah, definitely. Like you always, they actually prefer you drive their car because you're probably gonna get in less accidents than she's gonna get into.
Will you lie for your homies if you're unsure? If, let's say they come up to you for something. So let's say, Katie goes to Justin's like, "Hey, was Ethan with you last night?" What's your immediate response?
Yes.
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 You cover
yeah,
first.
Yeah, I'll cover him.
Alright.
Actually, my dumbass, I wouldn't know, right? Like sometimes you just don't know, right?
You don't catch it immediately.
Yeah. Sometimes I
yeah,
don't catch it.
I think so.
immediately.
Yeah.
Well, like, cause like Katie will like never come to me like out of nowhere. Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And ask me like, hey, like, cause that's the first time ever happening. Like, okay, she's sus about something, and Ethan party and tell her something, so
Oh,
for sure I'm gonna say yes.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, I get that. Yeah.
I think for me in this situation, it would be yes in most cases, unless I'm like, let's say, close with that person too.
Oh, okay.
Because then I would be like, if not, I wouldn't deny it. Like, I wouldn't say like, oh, he wasn't or he was. It's like, oh, I'm not sure. Like,
I'm not sure if he was.
I was pretty drunk last night too. I was like, but if it's like someone like you're close, yeah, if, like not that close, like cover.
Yeah.
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 I just don't know how believable I'd be. 'Cause I'm pretty bad at lying.
Who do you think? What side is this guy?
Yeah, probably. For
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm
They're like,
definitely.
she'll probably be like, well, where was Ethan? He's like, he was with me. But weren't you home all day yesterday, like kicking it with your family? He's like, yeah. But Ethan went out to the bar. It's like, oh, like that's what this guy was like. All right, later.
Yeah, I'm terrible at lying. Like,
Let's move on from this. What do you think about moving in with friends? Do you
I
think?
think that's cool. It just you got to be very selective too. I guess it depends on your like living preferences. Like if you're living with people that are like messy and you're the type that's like wants to be like clean, then of course you're gonna have problems down the line. Or like there's just a lot of problems that can arise.
Because like, all right, so moving in with friends, like realistically, like, do you think they're good friends and whatever? Do you think moving in has like that much benefits of like, let's say, like improving your relationship versus like, oh, there's like so much more. Like if it doesn't work out, then like it could fuck it up between you guys.
Yeah, like actually, because a lot of people have like really weird like home habits. Like some people like the water like on the side or like the hand soap on the right side, and some people like it on the left side. Some people don't even care if the toilet's dirty. Some people really do. And then it's like you're so tight with them already. Why do you even need to get tighter? Unless you want to like, have parties every single day and have super like lit ass parties. Yeah, but other than that, like I probably wouldn't try to jeopardize a friendship. According to Mr. Luke, he was like, yeah, like you'll see the worst in people. I was like, what the hell? Like really? Like that bad? And then some people actually do. Like they don't like living with their friends. Jeopardize a friendship.
I don't know. It depends. Like I guess for me, like going to college and like living with friends, I never had any problems. But I guess it's like lucky. I guess I don't know. I guess it was like luck on my part, or we didn't have any problems, or like people just don't care about as many things. But I can see how like moving in with friends for some people is, I guess, easy to be conflicting. Living preferences, priorities, and whatnot.
I know y'all heard of some stories like that though.
Yeah,
Like
I've heard some crazy shit.
Yeah, y'all heard of some stories like that.
But I feel like for guys, for the most part, if you move out with friends, it's gonna be like not as problematic. I feel like guys are pretty like simple and straightforward. We don't need like that many, I guess, like nice things. It's like, okay, cool, we kick it, and like shouldn't be a big problem.
I agree because like girls, they do like when they grow older, like I'm not gonna be like misogynistic or anything, but they like their stuff where it's at. You know what I mean? Like my mom, she likes this like there, and then my sister, she's like, no, I like this here, and then like Katie's like, dude, why the hell did you guys put it there? It's like, and Katie sleeps over a lot, so it's like 3 girls conflicting like where to put shit at, and they're like all in charge of it because like we're guys, we don't do any of that shit, you know, like.
Yeah.
Like, see, that's misogynistic,
It's
you know?
it's like if I left it there, cool. If it's somewhere else, like cool. Like I don't really care.
Yeah, like don't put the dishes over there. Like, bro, I don't even like wash the dishes like that. So it's like,
I'm only saying that because like let's say entering college, I've heard more like let's say like girlfriends that are close to each other said that they don't want to move in together just because they don't want to ruin their relationship. But I never heard that from 2 guys.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Oh yeah. Obviously, yeah. I feel guys are definitely a lot more simple-minded.
Actually,
Know
no,
a couple
about
of
that friends. Right. That.
Yeah, I know. Alright, let's see another one.
Damn, just seeing a little quiet over there. You're not drinking enough or what?
You guys answer all my questions.
Wait, how about you drink this whole thing and then start talking? No, for real.
What is it?
It's water.
Water.
Hey, try it. It's not that bad.
It's a very like clean taste.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put it.
I'll take the sweet.
That one-
17.
That one's strong though. Yeah, compared to like normal sushi.
But it's not sweet though, so it's good.
Hell no, I'm not doing this.
You want me to take sweet first? You want me to take sweet first and then you take sweet, or what? Or are you scared?
Just try a little bit. Just try a little bit. Just to.
Whoa.
Just
Oh,
to-
just like.
it's
I just popped it. Yeah.
it's like unflavored soju, but it doesn't taste as like nasty. That's the best way to put it.
It's just chill.
It's way better than like original.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah,
You want me to whip it or?
we can do whatever you
do
want.
whatever you
Yeah.
want.
Like you're not gonna drink it and be like, yuck, on the spot.
Wow, like vodka.
But like, not this.
Wow, like wow.
But it's not like a terrible aftertaste,
No,
right?
that's weird.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a good mixer drink.
Yeah, like this will get you fucked up.
I went to Palm Springs getting like 3 of this and I was like just kicking it. I think it's just too pure.
It's too pure.
Anything light, you probably won't get this stuff except tequila.
Okay, so building off the first thing we were saying about like how guys need like 100% signals and stuff like that. Do you think, as a result of, I wouldn't say cancel culture, but I'll try to build off it. Do you think men are less affectionate now just because they don't want the wrong idea or like give the wrong like signals? Because more often than not, if you give the wrong signal to a girl, they might come back to you with a bad rep.
I don't know, dude. I've been in a relationship for so long.
tough.
That's hard.
But yeah, people are getting sensitive nowadays.
Like it makes sense that like let's say a guy is not really as like comfortable showing his feelings. If like let's say he thinks the girl's kind of into him, and then he makes a move or whatever, doesn't hit, girl goes back to girl group. It's like, oh, this dude tried this with me, yada yada. And
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that happens like really often nowadays since it's like every girl's getting like, or everybody is just getting like so sensitive nowadays. It's just like, you can't even do anything. You might as well just mind your own business, keep going along your day. You have to really be sure that this girl's giving you the right hints before you make a move. Or you're gonna catch a case or something, I don't know.
let's say, all right. I'm just going off whatever I see. All right. Do you think you have a best man at this age?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sitting across you?
Yes. This is easy, it's no brainer.
So tell me why it's me.
Nah, yeah, I actually do. This is for sure gonna be Justin, but I think like supposedly if somebody's married already, they can't be your best man. Supposedly, I think, right?
I think it's
In the Asian culture only.
I think it's because your best man's gonna be set up with their maid of honor, right? So it's like a little bit weird. I mean, it does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's not married. I think if they're boyfriend girlfriend, it still gets a pass. But if they're married, I think they're like cut off.
Yeah. That's what I heard too. So like, definitely trying to get married first.
Fuck.
So he's gonna have to find, yeah. So I got that's good.
They get
So that means you're
divorced
gonna
real quick.
Let's find substitution real quick.
Do you have let's say for each other, do you have your story of let's say why you chose him? Like is specific like thing like where like you realize this guy is like there for me, yada yada, stuff like that.
I feel like that's just like our whole story, like me and Justin, just like all the way back, and then like we do like literally everything's the same, dude, except like he fucking plays volleyball more, and I play like basketball more. We work out the same, like volleyball, like ambition. It's like everything's on the same page all the time, and then we always keep each other in check. And we go neck to neck all the time. I always compete, like friendly competition boosts each other's morality up and stuff like that. That's why I feel like I wouldn't know what story to tell. Like, you know how like some people at weddings are like, oh, like I looked over and I saw a buck-toothed bald head and I knew that was gonna be my best friend. Like some story like that. I can't make a story up like that. Like I don't know any story. It's just like along the whole way. Like I can't tell that whole story, you know.
Okay.
But that was just for me though.
All right, I'll go to you, Ray, afterwards, and then I'll go for mine. So I think at this point, my best man would probably be, could change, but at the moment probably not. It's probably Derek. And then my story to tell for this one, right? So in high school, right? I liked this girl, and she was she didn't pass her whatever something test. I don't know. It was like
Driver's test?
I want to say so, yeah. And then, anyways, sad. It's like oh, I'll take you out to yada yada, like go just get like drinks or whatever, right?
Uh-huh.
And then I don't have a car.
Yeah.
So I was gonna borrow my other friend's car, and then come that morning because we were supposed to go like early. That morning I get a text like, oh, my mom's home. I can't let you borrow the car. And this is when I'm living by like Inez, right?
Oh, wait.
Alright, so and then Derek, you know where he's at, right?
No.
Around. Alright, anyways, he's around here.
Okay.
And then I'm like, oh fuck, I don't have a car. And it's like, what do I do now? Because like, one, I don't want to like, hey, I can't take you out today, right? So I give this guy a call, and then I'm like, hey, is it cool if I borrow your car? Also, another thing, I don't have a license yet. I'm like,
Oh shit.
so I got the paper, like it's passed and everything. I just don't have a physical license.
Permit, no?
That doesn't even matter because it's not gonna be my car, right?
Yeah.
I call him, I was like, hey, can you he's like barely waking up. Can I borrow your car? It's like, yeah, sure. And it's like, is it cool if I drop you off somewhere too? And then so what happens is, he comes to my place, picks me up. We drive to her house.
Yeah.
Pick her up. Derek hops in the back seat.
Wait, what? Wait, hold on. Wait. So you're picking a girl up?
Yeah.
And your homies in the back seat?
No. Hold on. This is where. So, it's like, oh, this is my friend Derek. And then to her knowledge, I think even to this day, she doesn't know that wasn't my car, right? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go drop him off real quick. I drop him off at McDonald's. And then, we go get drinks or whatever. I drop her back off. I pick him up. But that's like at least 2 hours or something. And he's just chilling in there.
That's crazy.
I pick him back up, drive back to my place. I was like, I see you later, Derek. Thanks again.
You're probably like, sorry about my friend, this bum doesn't have a car. Joe Mom. He probably said that shit like, freaking bomb, dude. Joe Mom, dude. Imagine, bro, I would have said that shit.
That is actually so funny.
Yeah, but that's my main story for Best Man.
He's probably just sitting there like
Damn, what to do now?
that what I
Just chilling in fucking McDonald's.
Yeah.
Do a nugget challenge, 100 nuggets and we're
Alright, what about for you, Ray? Do you have a Best Man at this point?
Honestly, that's actually a really hard question for me because I think throughout, I guess like all stages of my life so far, I've like, it's almost like a come and go, like relationship with a lot of people, and it was never like intentional. Like, oh hey, like we just aren't as close anymore. It just kind of happens.
People drift off.
Yeah. So it was like throughout either like middle school, through high school, even through college, like you get closer with some people and it just kind of just drifts off.
Drifts off? What does that mean? What does drift off mean, bro?
I guess for me too, it's because a lot of people I was like close with, everyone kind of chose their own paths, like everyone went different ways.
We don't know about that, right?
Everybody else is good.
I go to a private middle school, and then I come to a public high school. Like all the friends I grew up with, okay, they're like most of them are gone. It's just I don't know. It's hard too because for me, I felt like I always, surrounded myself with like groups of people, and I felt like I tried to be cool with everyone. So in the same sense, I was like. I never had like I never like try to go to I never had like this is my go-to person for XYZ. It was I don't know how to word this properly, but it was more so like you would go to like that person or this specific person. Like I would go to Ethan for this, or I would go to Justin for this. But you know what I mean? It was never like you're my fail-safe like person to go to for whatever such and such. Making you like okay, now I know this is gonna be like my best man. Because like at least for me, I always like hearing it from like a larger like group of people, I guess for advice or like whatever such and such versus like
you have
just one opinion.
You're one like this
yeah
goes over.
So that's a hard question. I don't know. That's something I'd have to think about.
Everybody's gonna know your business though. You talk to a large group.
Or okay, I wouldn't say like large group. You know what I mean? But
not that you have to name it. Do you have your top 3?
Do I have a top 3?
Nathan Ha.
Yeah.
Wait, why do we laugh about that?
It is.
Everybody started laughing like, it wasn't so funny, dude.
No, I can definitely narrow it down to like
No.
like less than like four, I don't know, three people. You know what I mean? But it's just it's hard because I guess for me, I never liked putting that best friend label on someone because I felt like it's almost like I put that like responsibility on them for in a sense. Whereas like, oh, he's my best friend. He should like do this for me, or like he should be able to help me out in this spot, or be able to give me the right advice for this particular problem. I feel like I don't know if that's just more so like
That's just
the
you,
way
I
I
think.
perceive
Like,
it.
I don't think best friends owe anything.
Or not like owe them, but it's like in your mind you're like, okay, like he should be the person to like be able to help me, or like I think this is like the best person to go to for this like thing.
Or like just things in general.
Yeah.
Maybe you just haven't found that dude yet. And I'm right here. That's crazy.
I don't know. I think I worded it bad, but I guess you kind of get the gist of like where I'm going with it.
Yeah, I get it. Like, oh yeah, like you don't. If you're getting jumped, like you don't tell your best homie that's like a scholar to go help you fight people. You choose your friends for like different situations, right? Like,
Yeah, more so.
Yeah.
I would say, I try like, more like situational.
like you don't tell your gangbanger homie to go help you study, right? Like, right?
Yeah.
Like you choose a friend for each different situation. I get that. Makes sense.
Like in a good sense, not to be like shallow about it. You know what I mean?
But do you ever get the gist of like? No, do you ever get that feeling? No, do you ever think they get that feeling that you're just using them because of that? At that point, like, oh, like, dude, Ray only hits me up when it pertains to this. Like, dang, he doesn't hit me up to go kick it or anything.
Well, I hope not. I feel like I'll try to like make it seem, I guess, like inclusive always. I guess with like, especially if like you're in a group of friends, right, and like everyone's like cool, like you're not gonna make it so like, hey, like I'll only kick it with like these particular people. You know what I mean? Just cause. Versus like, oh, I'll only like go hang out with like these friends because they play basketball and like these other friends won't. You know what I mean? Like I think as long as you establish that, as well as like try not to give off that like, hey, I'm excluding you from this, then it should work out hopefully. Or I guess that's kind of the way I've been approaching things. So
Ray, do you think you're someone else's best friend?
do I think I'm someone else's best friend? Yeah, I would say so.
Then how come you don't think he's your best friend?
No.
Or because I feel it's just dependent on by person. I don't know. Like
That's sort of a difficult spot.
No, okay, that's a hard question.
I'm not saying that I expect it, but at the same time, I think that like even like for me, for Derek, I also think he probably looks at me the same way. And it's like not so much like
Because generally, the two people think they're like, if one guy thinks he's my best man, the best man part also thinks that the same thing.
Yeah.
So, but you think someone else thinks that you are his best man. So why don't you think that guy is your best man?
you give me one.
Okay. I already know what I'm about to say is gonna like be such red flags, but it's like
You're just a shitty ass friend.
okay, no. Okay, so let's say like for example, I might be a best friend for someone because in their minds they'll be like, okay, I can always go to Raymond for XYZ, right? And then he'll always give me the straight up answer or like be able to help me out on this. You know what I mean? Because like either I might be the only go-to in a sense, like we could say like hypothetically, right? I might be the only friend for the go-to for that, or they're in their minds like, okay, like first person, I'm just gonna ask him about this. Versus for me, like I feel like there's multiple people I can go to for different things. Like it can be the same topic too, and I'll go to like 3 separate people because I feel like we're on that same level of connection. Versus, I don't know how to describe it.
That's a really good point you brought up. I didn't think about that.
Like if I'm cool, let's say I'm cool with all 3 of you guys. I could equally go to all 3 of you guys for like advice, right? For let's say like for a girl. Versus if someone else only had like one person they could go to because they weren't comfortable talking to other people about it, then in their mind I'd be like the best friend, right?
Okay.
But in my mind I'd be like we're not like best friends, but like we're all good friends in a sense.
So that's the best excuse you came up with?
No.
You couldn't come up with a better excuse.
So let's say like it's
I hope
not
that made sense.
it's not that you how do you say it? Let's say I always like let's say I'll give you this situation. Let's say I always come to you for like advice or whatever.
Yeah.
Would you not likely come to me for the same thing, or at least look towards me for the same thing? Because if I'm coming to you for something, it's because it's likely that I feel that me and you have the same thought process. Likewise, would you not think the other way? Like, oh, he's coming for me for a reason. Like, then we probably have the same thought process backwards. Why wouldn't you go to like me backwards if that's the case?
That's a hard question because I that's more so like a me problem. I don't know. It's just like my first resort is like
I don't think it's.
I just don't think. I just don't think that way. I don't know. It's just weird for me. I don't know how else to describe it. Yeah, I don't know how else to word it. Because like if like let's say for example like you always came to me for relationship advice, like
Okay.
you would expect me to go to you for relationship advice, right? Or like you would think I would. But then in my mind, I might think, oh, someone else would be a better fit to tell me like what I should do. And that I think that comes down to like your friendship and then who you think is also like based on personality wise too. Like who's gonna be like straight up with you and who's gonna like like hype you up to be the yes man, versus like who's actually gonna tell you straight up.
Okay. I can kind of see it. But after Justin brought that up, I was like, oh shit, wait.
Like I don't know if this whole thing made sense, but like I hope you kind of get where I'm coming from.
Wait, can you summarize that?
Okay, so
Like,
in
two
summary,
clauses.
okay, I can't single one person to be quote unquote a best friend as of right now at least, or maybe if I do it, I wouldn't be like 100% confident in that pick.
But like,
You know what I
so
mean?
when you say that you're not like going to one person, is that because you don't want to, like, just like your own habit of like choosing the best, or like you just how to say you could technically like let's say choose that person to go back and forth with, like
Yeah.
regardless of them being right or wrong, like let's say me going to Derek, it's not really like I know that he gives me the best advice, but like it's like he'll probably match the same way that I think, not really like the best advice. Because the best advice for let's say like Ethan, like his best advice could be the best advice for him, versus you getting the best advice from someone that thinks like you. I think it's better, right?
Yeah.
So how do you choose for that? Like, do you like how like advice wise, like how does one person have? Do you rank like best general advice or best advice in pertaining to someone like you?
I think for me, I'd rather go to whoever would give me the best advice in general versus someone that'll give me the best advice or like what I'd want to hear. You know what I mean? But I think it also depends too on like the emotional aspect. So I feel like I'm a very like I guess emotional person that like kind of just does stuff based on how I feel. But I don't know. It depends. Like I can be logical, and then at times like you'll be very emotional about things. So
Yeah, I have one person in mind that like actually gives really good non-biased advice for you, right? But how come you don't consider them your best friend? And we all know this person.
okay, wait. Repeat that. Sorry.
All right, so we all know this one person that
Okay.
considers you his best friend.
Okay.
How come you don't consider him your best friend? Even though everything you're describing, like non-biased stuff, he gives you advice on. But why do you choose not to be his best friend? That's what we're trying to know. Like how come he selects you, but you can't select him back?
Okay. I hope we're on the same page and we're thinking about the same person. Okay.
You say names.
We already said the name.
Yeah.
I don't need to say it again. So this person thinks you're his best friend.
Okay.
How come you don't think the same thing? And you said, nah, it's about advice and situation. But
Because I don't know. Because
It's because you don't like him.
no, that's not the case. It's more so like it ties back to what I said earlier. Is that I don't like putting the best friend label at all in general. Like I'd rather not have that label because it just I guess
Do you think that's a you thing? Like you feel like that? Because I don't think like anyone else would like take that sort of like, oh man, I'm his best friend. I have to do this type of thing. Like
I think it's more so a me thing. Like I'd rather not, I guess, like make people feel a type of way, like, oh, because like we're such like good friends or like such and such, like I should be able to, I guess, like meet like my expectations or like what you think would be like, you know, certain expectations. That I yeah, it's more so a me thing. That's why I don't want to like consider someone. Oh, hey, like this is my best friend.
Hey, bestie.
You know what I mean?
That's what you do, best friend.
Yeah. I don't know how else to word it.
let's go.
Yeah.
We can move on from this. All right.
Sorry for you so much pressure, buddy.
All right. Do you think we're past the age where money is a reason to bail?
Are we past the age where money is a reason to bail?
Yeah.
On like
For who?
Let's say like let's just like going out to something, like, oh you want to go like birthday? Let's say like oh you get something to eat somewhere like let's say a little more expensive, but like not like that much, like if they're like your like let's say like I wouldn't say like how about let's say like your close circle like do you think like oh it's too much for me? Is like do you give them the pass though or no?
Yeah.
I think it's okay, especially now since everyone's like either still in school or like we just barely got out of school trying to figure our lives out. Where not everyone's like at the point where you're like very stable. I think it's okay.
Wait,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about like dropping like hundreds or something like that. I mean, so the thing that I saw about this is like some people like let's say the evening's just like oh it's like a little much. I'm probably not gonna do this or yada yada, but like they'll go out the next 2 weeks
Oh.
and it's the same thing but split up and they decide oh I'd rather not go to your one day thing versus like taking these two like
Oh. But for me, I usually don't surround myself with people like that. Like, where,
Yeah,
like,
I feel like
I never ran into that issue ever, right? Like, for me, I would never, like, that never actually even happened in my life before. Like, where someone's like, this is too much. And then, like, next week, they like, go kick it with somebody else. And then, like, they drop the same amount of money.
but not even the same. Like let's say they'll kick it the next 2 weeks and then it'll add up to like the same thing as like if you like would you not I wouldn't say take it personally but like would it definitely cross your mind?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll
oh, no,
definitely,
yeah.
I'll get hella mad about that.
You'll feel a type of way too.
Yeah.
Like it just feels like, especially if it was like a close friend or like someone that you considered close and they did that to you, then in your mind you take offense because you're like, okay, maybe I'm not that important to you. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I meant by that.
Okay. Yeah, that's what you mean. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Because like I think like it's a very cliche. Like you always see like oh you know the thing on TikTok's like oh money will come back, but when will I ever like this and this in my 20s? And like I think like as much as that is a joke, but I definitely think like especially like right now I think your mid 20s is probably gonna be most likely your friend group, if not more likely subtraction rather than additions.
I agree.
Yeah.
You're probably not gonna get more like even if you do pick up more friends, they're not gonna be in the close circle.
Yeah.
Like the circle, like sad to say, it's only gonna get small.
Yeah, for
Realistically.
the most part. Yeah.
I agree, yeah. Unless you have like a life-changing move, like where you move to like Arkansas and then like you make a whole new friend group and then you become that tight circle. Like for more so like 99% of the times, once your circle's already established, it's there. And then it only gets smaller from there. Like everybody pieces and goes their own way, you know what I mean? It's like you look at our parents, like they don't kick it with their friends that often, you know, it just gets smaller and smaller because you make people have less time as they grow older and then they only make time for people that they really care about, you know? And like when you have a big friend group, like you're not caring about all 20 people, like, or so to speak, you know? Like it's only gonna get smaller, you're right, yeah.
That's why like for this one, I saw someone say like, oh, you know how there's that relation like time is money, but the older you get, time is more than money,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Definitely agree.
And then now this is completely not related to this. You know how like there's people and not to be gender biased, more often than not, girls have a thought of that I can fix it personality. Where do you think it comes from? Like they know this guy's like not I want to say trash, but like definitely not the best. But they're definitely in the relationship with somewhat of a mindset that like I can be the one to change this guy. And I have my perspective on it, but where do you think it comes from?
Projects.
Projects.
Just another topic.
Elaborate.
Like
Group projects.
projects, like people keep themselves like they think that it's like it's really deep. It's like an ego thing. It's like you believe that you're in yourself that you could change somebody else and you could reflect back on them. Like you see these good characteristics in yourself. Like for instance, let's say like, oh, like I'm hardworking, I'm motivated, I go to the gym, or like I make a lot of money. Like I could reflect on this person. But you can never, there's only to a certain extent where you can help a person so much, you know what I mean? So it's like, they always have that like inner ego where they feel like I could like pour myself on you and you're gonna be like that. And then once everybody sees the results, they're gonna glorify back to you. Like, damn, he changed your life.
So you think it's an ego thing? So
It's
they want
definitely an ego thing.
Okay.
For like even like, they use like Genghis Khan back in the day. He had like so many wives, but he kills them afterwards. And like people are like, wait, why did the wives, like knowing that they killed so many other girls, like had so many previous wives, want to be his wife? It's like because they think that they're like their ego. They think they're the best, that they're gonna change him. They think that they could do it, you know, and it's just the same results again. Like basically, yeah, it's an ego thing. It's an ego thing. They think that they could do it, but they really can't because you can't help a person that doesn't want to get helped. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's definitely an ego thing. That's what I think, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
You have a different perspective, or you think the same thing? Ego.
Yeah, I think it's ego thing.
Yeah.
But what was yours?
All right,
Seems like
so-
you have something different.
So all of us are ABC, right?
Mm.
So our parents are definitely traditional. I think it comes from the fact that for our parents, for us, they think that we can be whatever we want to be as long as we do it, right?
Mhm.
Like no matter what, like you be born dumb, yeah, you can grind your way to that thing.
Mhm.
Like they have that situations like they don't like the mindset of like, oh, it is what it is. Like no, I can do something about it. And I think that reflects in their children's like, oh, I can do something about it. So for let's say in girls or guys, like they feel like, oh, he's like this, but I can do something about this.
Okay, so you're saying that would only refer to ABCs or like Chinese born in America?
I don't know if that's only referring to that, but like our majority of our friend group is Asian, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like we all have, except for some, I feel like some parents are like younger, but like majority of the traditional parents, they have that mindset of like, if you want to do it, you can do it. You just have to try hard enough. And that's where it reflects to like, if you want to change it, you can do it. You just gotta try hard enough.
Oh, yeah, but then it goes back to your question, but because you said girls only, right?
Well, I just think it's more often than not.
Oh.
Because I feel like guys, like, I don't think we ever like go in a situation like, oh, she's not it, but I can work with this. I can do better. But like girls, like sometimes they see something in a guy, it's like they're still like persistent on it.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I can see that for like the guy perspective. I feel like it's more. I feel like it's more of like a biased opinion since.
I feel like all girls are like that though. If you're saying it's an ABC thing, then like other girls from other ethnicities.
Oh no, I don't think it's necessarily ABC, but
Oh.
I'm saying like for ABCs, I can reason that.
Okay.
And then if we don't have anything to say, for
No, I think it's a movie thing.
you think
The
that-
movie thing.
No, for real.
Like,
Like,
you
you
wanna be-
rom-com shit.
you want to
like-
be the main character type of thing, like, oh, I did this to him, like type of.
No, like it's like those Disney movies where like Beauty and the Beast,
Oh.
right? Like he was a bad person, but then the girl came in and changed him. Or like Tango, the guy's a thief, but then the girl came and changed his way of stealing stuff.
Okay, then
So
that,
all those Disney movies that you grew up watching, like it kind of wires you to think that you could probably change someone who's not so good and change into who you want them to be.
With like hope and
Yeah.
belief, you know.
so you think it's an American?
Actually, I really think Justin's right because, like, dude, every girl like fantasizes about shit like that. Like, oh, they watch the movie, like, oh my god, this is the most beautiful wedding. I want to replicate that. I want to, dude. Every wedding I've been going through, they're not even having fun. They're just trying to take photos and they have memories of like good photos and good like everything. You know what I mean? Because they wanted to make it like a movie, picture perfect type of stuff. They're just trying to implement like imitate like fucking movies, dude. It's not even realistic, you know? Like they're not enjoying the moment because they watch so many movies since they're a kid, trying to like replicate that shit.
And that's why, like, I think so. One thing, like, social media definitely has a place to it because, like, let's say likewise for our parents, for them, they don't any goals that they set for that is more so like just for them, not so like to let other people know like oh yada yada. Like if my son goes to this and does this, that's good for me and my son. Versus like I don't need to let everyone else know like
Yeah.
hey, my family did this.
I agree. Social media portrays self-confidence in a really different way. Like people nowadays, they brag so much on social media, and then when someone calls them out like, "Why are you bragging?" They're like, "Oh, it's my self-confidence." Yeah, keyword self. Keep that shit to yourself, dude. You know what I mean? But I get like, yeah, you know, like you want to show everybody what you did and what you've done, like what you accomplished. But confidence and like bragging is like two totally different things. That's why like social media is like changing like how everybody acts nowadays, dude. It's freaking crazy. That's why I agree on you on social media aspect. Like that shit's crazy now. You hear some absurd shit on there now. Like showing off your body on OnlyFans, like that's self-confidence now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and if you say it's not, then it's like
Then you're insecure.
Yeah, that's crazy.
alright. Quick thing for what's it called? Social media. Do you think liking the other gender's post, does that matter to you?
No, for me, no, because I be doing that shit all the damn time. Too. You know what I'm saying?
So is that the thing like oh if I can do it you can do it too? It's like
Oh.
and then how it's like oh what if I don't want you to do it? Can you not do it for me too?
Dude, actually, I don't know. Like, I've never been restricted, or so to speak.
Mhm.
So I just speak like a dude's photo, like a girl's photo, but like bikini photos and like this photo if you want to fuck type shit, like, and you like it, like that's totally different. But yeah, but I never ran into an issue. I don't know about you guys. Have you guys ran into an issue?
I haven't. I mean, well, just me personally, I just don't like stuff in general unless like you're a homie, for the most. You ready? Like unless we're actually cool or like it's something that's like very relatable
Or super funny.
or like yeah, then I'll like it. You know what I mean? But like if it's just like mutual or like someone I'm not close with, like I'm not gonna just like your shit just to like it.
Okay. And let's say like that's not even like I would say my perspective on that, not that I've had an issue with it. I think if someone does, the furthest it can go is let's say they like someone, if they're within like let's say like reachable means, like let's say OC area or like somewhere around there, maybe you can consider that. But like if it's like a celebrity or something, like I don't think like
It matters.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. So you know, some people they do like, oh, why are you liking all these like girls? Yada yada. It's
Yeah.
like some IG model, right? But like you know, you'll never like you person. You know, you'll never ever get to that like point.
Okay, but all right. Let me give you a crazy ass question then. All right, so let's say you have a celebrity crush and you and your girlfriend give each other like a hall pass. But how does a celebrity hall pass differ from just a regular person's hall pass? It's the same shit.
All right, let me give you my.
Like you're fucking somebody else. It's not you.
All right, let me give you my example. Right? Like I think it's different if my girl gets mad at me if I'm liking like so let's say like not I don't know mutual like some other girl like let's say an OC right
Yeah.
and like regardless let's say if it was some provocative picture or like something like that, that's different from me liking a picture of Jenny Kim because like I'm never gonna be able to get with Jenny Kim, so it's like that takes away the possibility
okay.
part, right?
Okay.
So it's like I think it's not a threat if you realistically can't achieve it, right? Like what is that more like an insecurity thing?
No, it's not. I'm not saying it's a threat, but it's like in the back of their mind.
Yeah,
right?
I think it might be like a more so like an insecurity thing. I think it's like I guess it depends on the person too how they like perceive it. Like it might be like even like it might be by intent like because like you liked even like it could be a celebrity crush. They'll in their minds they'll be like okay well like maybe like I'm not good enough or like you don't think that I'm like
So that's an insecurity.
yeah so you know.
How though? Oh wait, think about this. All right.
I mean, that's why I say
It's not an
it
insecurity.
depends on the person.
No, it really doesn't. All right, think about it. All right, let's say I see a baddie in Modern Park, right? And then I see fucking fucking Kylie Jenner. I like both their photos. Both my intent's to fuck both of them. Either way, right? And then your girl's just like, nah, like he doesn't have a fucking chance with Kylie, but he has a chance with this guy. But dude, in the back of that guy's mind, is like he's trying to fuck both of them anyways, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I would say it's like it's more so like
How's it insecurity?
It's like a fuck you thing. Like let's say like you were in a relationship with a girl, right? And then I liked X amount, like all these pictures from either it could be like a celebrity or like maybe like a mutual or whatever. And then in their minds, that's why I said it depends on by the person, right?
Oh, yeah.
If they're insecure enough about your relationship, like they could perceive it like, oh, because like he likes all these person's pictures, like, oh, am I like not good enough, or like because, or you know how you said like, oh, I'm just trying to fuck these two people, even though I'm in a relationship. They, you know, they might think, oh, like, oh, I'm not like pretty enough for such and such. That's why like
Oh, yeah, that's
he's gonna go like looking at other people that are, I guess, quote unquote, better looking. You know?
Yeah. I guess it does depend, but I was trying to change like the thought process behind it, because like if you don't like, let's say if you're a girl and you don't like your boyfriend liking another girl's photo, but you're okay with him liking like Jenny, either way he's like liking girls that are not you.
So
you know?
Yeah, that's why it's more like it's kind of like a indirect fuck you.
So,
Yeah,
so you're
dude.
saying is it has nothing to do with success rate, it has more so with intent.
I'd say
exactly,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
Dude, you're, like, let's say for like if I was your girlfriend, right, and then you like Jenny, like you still like her, it's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, it's not me,
Yeah.
dude. You know what I mean? In the back of your mind, you really like Jenny, but it's like, bro, that's not me, you know? So it's not that it's a success rate, it's just like your thought process is like, bro, you're really trying to, you know?
Alright, let's throw you off something. Well, let's say that person that like looks like her. Does that change?
Oh shit. Yeah, it does, I guess. Oh, wait, what? Alright, you caught me off guard there, I don't know.
So that gives you a pass. It's like, oh, like I like her because she looks like you.
Whoa.
Or is that gaslighting?
That's kind of gaslighting.
Nah,
I don't know.
I probably use that same shit.
It just
too.
depends on the person. Like, if you were to ask me if I give a fuck, like I don't care. You know, like
Well,
you
I
do
think,
you.
I think that's for our end. I think
Yeah.
rarely do we.
But, like-
it's not like you're trying to be gender biased.
Yeah.
But like,
But for other people,
Yeah.
it might be different. You know, what like regardless of gender, like some guys could be like, hey, like why are you liking other guys' photos to his girl, or vice versa. You know what I mean? Like, just depends on the person and if they're insecure about their relationship.
It feels like I feel like it's the photo too. Like it's like a big booty photo from a mutual. Like you liking that big booty photo?
but like, I think alright. So one other thing, like, do you think you while you're scrolling, like, do you just, for me, I just scroll and I like scrolling. I like let's say even for TikTok, I'm just like, oh, it could be a dumbass video. Like, it's just my habit. It's just
No, like I have this thing where like let's say my significant other is sitting like right next to me, and I scroll through and I see like a really big booty photo. I scroll right past that shit. As soon as my soul's reversed, you know, I don't take my time on that thing. And
Taking no risk.
And they're like, wait, what are you doing? I was like, nothing. But you already know, it's like, oh, I might go back and look at that photo later on. You just keep a mental note.
save the favorites.
Yeah, no, you have to go past it. And then delete the app and then go back. To ensure no success rate. Yeah, I think, like, overall, that's why I thought it was just intent. It wasn't really like you have no success rate.
Yeah.
The success rate that you guys are talking about is based off of insecurity. But the intent one is based off of just like, oh, you want to fuck this person other than me. It's not really like insecure. The insecure one's like success rate. Like, oh, yeah, no, dude, this girl's like way too high for you. Like whatever. Or you don't have no chance. Like, nah, whatever. But like the one where the mutual and then she gets mad, it's like, bro, that's insecure because the success rate plays a big part in it. Yeah.
Oh, what were you saying about like that girl's way too what?
Like the girl's way too like hot for you.
Or like out of your league.
out of your league.
Unrelated. All right. Would you ever? Do you think with your own security of how you feel, do you think you could ever be with someone that's taller than you?
Been there, done that. Put the glasses on me now. Put the sunglasses and the cigarette on me. I can do it.
The question is how much taller? Like,
All right. We're
like she's 6'4" and I'm fucking on the piggyback, or
no,
what?
no. All right. So we're all roughly around the same height. All right.
No.
Yes, we are.
Alright.
I'm taller anyway.
Alright.
She's 6 foot flat.
Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, but Bobby's sus. Like, why are you dating?
I don't know.
It's
Yeah.
just like, what do you mean? To yourself or like?
To her, like, why?
Well, why
That's why guys
does she? No, if anything, like that's even better because like she's not looking at you for height. She's like, oh, this dude has so and so characteristics, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Wait. What was the question? Like, would you be insecure dating a taller girl?
Yeah.
Nah.
No.
For me, I never quite. That's what attracts women. It's the confidence.
Wait, so you wouldn't mind having a girl wear heels when you come out?
Yeah, I don't even care. I really don't care. I actually don't care. Unless your girl's making fun of you, that's a different fucking story. And I get that shit, alright? I get that shit. Honestly, like, I'm be real, like this, I'm almost never insecure about my height, ever.
Why do you always talk about
ever.
it?
Huh?
Why do you always talk about this?
No, because I feel like you guys always bring that up, because that's the only thing you guys got on me. Because, like, the good looks, you know, the fucking big muscles and the good talking skills, like, what else could you guys make fun of me about?
Who told you that?
I told myself in the mirror. Confidence is key, fellas.
Let's see. All right, continuing to go. I don't think it's anyone's current, or at least for you two. How would you rate your first kiss?
1.
What?
1. 1.
Honestly, honestly, it wasn't that bad. I ain't gonna lie. It wasn't that terrible. It wasn't like you look back and you're like, what the fuck was that? You know what I mean? It was like, I feel like it's like the most like average, or what you'd like expect for Anna. You know what I mean? An experience like that.
I'll tell you mine. I think it's like pretty low rating because one is like, so I was just like, we were just talking or whatever, and it's like, oh, close your eyes and I'll show you something. I was like, okay, kiss. I was like, oh, that's it. And then I was like, oh, I guess yours memorable. Or like, no, I won't say I obviously remember it, but like, where would you rate yourself?
It was good. It was like 8 out of 10. Like, it was a good kiss.
Or are you like
maybe not
rating
for her,
it?
but-
I'm not
Are you rating it from your end or like
I
just the
don't.
experience?
Obviously, I think like regardless, like if you got like you're like, oh, yeah, it's nice, I got a kiss. But let's say like your delivery. How would you rate your delivery?
Oh,
My delivery?
my delivery is bad. I already know. It was on. If you rate it out of 10, it's definitely 5 and below.
Delivery for what?
For the kiss?
So
Yeah.
they're thinking like, oh, how was your first kiss? Like, oh, was it enjoyable? No, not that. Like, how do you rate yourself? Like, you delivering it?
Oh.
I can't remember.
Just say one. Just say one.
Well, how would you even know?
Yeah.
No, your own perception. Like,
Oh,
Yeah,
almost
it's like your own perception. Like, how well do you think you did?
Solid 10. Solid 10. Solid 10. Yeah. Nah. 1.
Yeah.
Probably with the eyes open too. Like this. Oh man, I already know Nathan Ho was doing that shit, dude. Ugly ass. What's all
Just stare at it.
No, you know what? I think the weirdest thing is like, let's say she does it back. Like, oh, no, you know, like, oh,
You're like,
shit.
hey yo.
Oh man. Nah. No way.
But I feel like you can't really have high expectations if it's your like first, kiss, regardless, like your delivery or like the whole thing. You can't really have that high expectations if you don't know what the fuck is
How
going on.
about first time?
Your expectations are your first, or how would you rate your performance your first time?
Yeah.
What about first attempt?
First time.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to go down this rabbit hole.
What about first attempt? Rate that. I'll Ray, you go first.
Yikes. Are you talking about like my own individual performance or like the whole interaction?
Have a whole thing and then your individual performance. And where it was.
How it felt.
Where it was, what time, what day?
And woohoo.
That is crazy. I feel like, with your first like experience like that, you're. I gotta choose my words very carefully here. Okay. How would I would rate it out of 10? Let's say like in terms of like meaningfulness. That's a fucking word. Like of course, if it's your first time for anything, of course it's gonna be like on the higher end of the spectrum, right? Just because like, first for everything.
What are those 2 lines? But you have 4 lips. Nah, that's no, I'm just kidding. Go.
How would I rate myself? I mean, if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, and then like the older you get and the more experience you get, fuck yeah, fuck yeah, it's gonna be
fucking scheme.
right. Fuck yeah, it's gonna be on the lower end of the spectrum. Like, if you're trying with anything, if you're trying anything for the first time, of course you're not gonna be like good at it, unless you're I don't know, fucking God sent talent. But yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I would rate my individual performance, not too hot, but
I'll give myself a 6. I'll move on from that.
I'll say 10.
this guy said attempt versus
Versus attempt.
That's a fucking funny one. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. No, it depends if you did leg day or not. Because if you did leg day before, no, you've been doing leg day. She, you're beating that shit up. This got like a stallion leg right here. Boom.
Let's move on from
Alright.
this topic. Alright. So, I don't know if you guys have like how to say this type of feeling, but like, do you think like there's qualities that like you won't be like your parents? Like, oh, you told yourself I'm not gonna be like this and that.
That's a great fucking question, Brian. You
Yes.
fucking smacking with these fucking questions. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, but
All right. At the same time, I think likewise we all have some things like, oh, I don't want to be like this.
Mhm.
I think more recently, I'm a lot more open-minded to it. It's like I don't think I'll actually be able to understand until I'm in that position. Like I may be like, oh, why is it like this? Why is it like if I'm like that in the future, I'm never gonna do this or that. But like,
Yeah.
I feel like more recently, I'm like, oh, maybe I really won't get it until like
yeah,
stuff like that.
I feel like that's like a yes but no. I don't know. I feel like a question like that, at least for me, I can't elaborate on that because I feel like that gets too emotional.
I feel like I can. Alright.
So
okay, alright.
that's something for you guys.
Alright, so like I have this thing with my dad. He's very judgmental, right? And I'm like, bro, why are you so judgmental? Because you discourage people from telling you things, from like doing new things.
Likewise.
You know? It's just like normal, but it's a normal Asian parent thing. Like as an Asian household, like you grow around that. And I asked him one day, I was like, why are you being so judgmental? Like people don't like to show who they are.
If
And
you're
they-
discouraging.
Yeah, exactly. That's like it's just like high school and elementary. Like everybody's the same person because they see each other every day and they already know they're getting judged. But if you notice that everybody who leave high school and goes to college, they kind of like express themselves in a different way because they know they're not constantly getting judged. If you see like a bunch of like, well, I'm trying to be mean, a lot of fucking weirdos after, right? Like after high school, you're like they weren't that weird before, but they're just like expressing themselves after. But a lot of people come out after because they know they're not getting constantly judged, right? And he was like, my dad was like, yeah, like you always have to judge because you have to teach people and then so they can learn. That's why they always judge. That's why you should always judge as a parent. And that's why I was like, you know what? I'll never know. Like I'll try not to be as judgy as possible. But then again, I wouldn't know till I step into their shoes and have kids myself. Because you're always gonna have to criticize, no matter how much you love your children. Like constructive criticism or just like judgy or just criticism at all, because you want them to improve all the time. You know what I mean? But I feel like that's just for me and the Asian household, because our parents just want to see us succeed, but we always see it as like a downfall type thing. So you wouldn't really know until you step into their shoes and have kids yourself. See like if they respond when you speak to them nicely and lightly and give them advice, or judge them for what they do.
Okay. And then let's say something to build off that.
Mhm.
Do you ever have a situation where they're like, why are you like this? Even though like they do the same thing and it's likewise you got those habits from them.
Yeah.
So let's say for my dad, right?
Uh-huh.
For me, I have a personal thing. Like if I'm doing something, like I'd rather do it my way, even if it means it's harder for myself.
Uh-huh.
And I guess that's where we butt heads. So it's like, for me, I don't shy away from fucking up, because I think fucking up is like you fuck up, you learn this and that. But for them, it's like, why don't you just take my like judgment first and then go from there.
That's like human nature though, like, because they've been through that. They don't want you to reinvent the wheel. They already know how it works. They've been through all that. They don't want you to go through the same thing. But in your perspective, you're like, you know, it doesn't hurt to try. You know, like, what if they don't know what they're talking about? And then more likely, you're gonna go through what they went through, and then you're gonna learn yourself. and then it's going to be an ongoing cycle like that. But that's just human nature. Like everybody doesn't know how like you don't know how it feels like until you try. You know what I mean? So it's just like that's just human nature, bro. Like you're never gonna avoid that. It's gonna be generations, no matter what race, what gender, anybody. Everybody's just gonna want to try and then see if they succeed or fail themselves without being told. Like your parents always want you to like, oh like. Let's say for an instance, you don't want to go to college, like you want to go do your side ventures. Your parents are like, okay, this is a bad success rate. I've been through that.
Because they've done that.
Yeah, they've done
So,
that, but you never know, like.
But is that a thing where like, how do you say? Because we can't really relate. Because even if like we're knowledgeable of that, right?
Mhm.
It's hard to accept it. Because like I know you're looking out for me, but at the same time, it's like, you don't get the same learning curve as like let's say I do this a certain way because they tell me. Let's say I go however they do. Let's say we eventually have kids. How do you explain like, oh, why you like this, Dad? Oh, because my dad told me to.
I mean, yeah, you could say it like that, but more so that's never gonna be the case because you're never gonna listen to your parents. I agree. 99% of the time, kids don't listen to the parents and they experience it themselves. That's why you're never gonna run.
So do you think this is just gonna be how do you say a prevalent problem that's gonna
It's gonna always be like this. Human nature.
Yeah, I think it's very prevalent just because it's always like the kids, your kids are always going to be growing up in a different generation, so things are always just different. Like what might have worked for you, when you were younger, might not be applicable to them in 20 years from now, with how society is or like what the fuck's going on. So I think that kind of, I guess like you'll expect, why kids are like gonna go against what their parents might tell them, and then they're like, oh, I think this is right because it's more like, because I grew up during this time, so I think this is gonna be more successful going this method versus your old school method.
okay.
Yeah, I agree. It's like naive,
Yeah.
Dude, that's why kids are they call them naive, inexperienced.
Yeah.
They don't listen to what they are told from the get go, even with proven experience and like past results. They still don't agree. That's naive, being young and naive. That's why they call it young and naive.
That's why it's like, I feel like for a lot of people, even for me too, like it's always, you just have to learn the hard way. Like some people, like you'll get a few people that they'll just take like the older generation's word and then just follow through with it, and like it works out for them. And then you get a lot of people too, including myself, like you just gotta learn the hard way. Yeah.
All right, let's say going with that, generational differences. Do you think our generation now is softer? And I would say, let's say for example, we'll do jobs because that's a relatable one. I feel like if something doesn't, like if you don't like something, we'll just like, fuck it, let's do something else. But our parents, they would be like, oh, I don't like it, but I'll stick it out, no matter how bad it is.
Yes. No, that's 100% true. With the way how society is now, our generation is definitely more like, we don't care. Dude, this is like such a huge topic too, because our generation doesn't care as much about careers anymore. It's more so like whatever is gonna generate me the most amount of money so I can just live the way I want to live.
Do you think that has to do with us having a sense of security for our parents as backup? But because for them, theirs is we gotta make it or that's it.
Yeah. For them, I feel like for the older generation, especially like, I guess relatable for myself and like, for like a good amount of us, it's like you have immigrant parents, so for them it's like they don't have the opportunity to kind of just like, fuck it, I can fuck around and then test the waters, versus, for them they just like, I have to stick to this one thing because I have all these responsibilities. I have these kids, I have to take care of them, such and such, you know what I mean? Versus us now, there's a lot more opportunities where you can kind of just jump around different professions, different careers, and there's a lot more leeway versus like being someone that, you didn't have as much like education opportunities or such and such. Like I come in and you'll just take whatever job just to take whatever, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But how does jumping around make you soft?
Because you're not willing to stick it through.
Because you're not like,
But then like
even though like
you're not willing to like deal with that much bullshit. And so in a sense,
doesn't
it's
that
like,
just make you stupid for dealing with so much bullshit when you could just go somewhere else to have a better work environment?
Oh, okay. So I think that's more so like in the old generation side. That's like you being soft. Like, oh, why don't you just suck it up and just deal with it? So that's why it's like more so like our younger generation is like we're quote unquote like more sensitive because we rather not, or like I guess we're more, we have a less small we don't have as much tolerance for that shit now.
So let's
So
say,
in their eyes we're like more sensitive about it.
Well, I could just say like we just know our value now.
or like even with
You
that,
can make the argument, yeah.
So
you know your value.
one thing I still can't get the point across to my parents. Let's say jobs. Keeping on that topic, I can't explain to them why I don't want to do this job, even though it pays however much, if I don't like it. Because for them, it's like, it doesn't matter if you like it. It's just, if it pays well, then it pays well. Like, that's the thing. But for us, it's more so like, I want to enjoy it. But that's less of a value to them. Like, it doesn't matter if you enjoy it, I just do it.
Okay. Well, yeah. In that case, I don't know.
I think that's like
That
a
makes you soft.
it's like a difference in generations
It's like,
too.
you can't explain them that I could find another job I like that pays the same amount. You can just say that.
I guess pays.
I think it's just from personal experience because our parents, since they're immigrants, they're back here against the wall. You know, whatever you could take, no, whatever you get, you take.
You'll
you know what I
take,
mean?
yeah.
But for
Yeah,
us,
but
we have
like-
so much leeway because we see that.
But if we were in that same environment, I'm pretty sure we'll do what they did.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why
right.
they react the same way
Yeah.
towards us.
But I don't know who said this generation soft. I think we're grinding way harder than the previous generation.
I think his question was not towards career wise. I think it was more behavior wise.
Behavior.
Like personality wise, or like taking offense to
Let's
shit.
say, like, I'll drop it from the job perspective. Let's say relationships. If you get one red flag, you're not gonna try to grind that out. Like,
Yeah.
Oh.
you're more likely to give it up and find something better, right? Because you have more value in, like, not, I wouldn't say value, but like you feel like there's more opportunities. Versus them is like they don't really care, more so like their own, I wouldn't say happiness, but like security definitely plays a larger role for them than
Which one would you prefer to live as?
given, like, so without that against the wall, or with
Yeah, what about back against the wall? Like, in terms of relationship, like you said, right? Like, you know, it seems like like you say, it seems like your parents are willing to work things out, and it seems like our generation are willing to just like
Don't
break
work.
it apart and then just move on, right?
okay,
Yeah.
Which one would you rather do?
I think break things off. Given our current age, we're not on that time crunch. So I feel like it's not like, oh, I have to make it by this time. I can find someone later or something like that. Like, I can find a better job later on.
Okay.
Yeah, I would rather break things off because I don't know if you guys seen like if you've seen like divorce rates are like fucking hella high, right? Just because I feel like the older generation, for them it was more so like whatever, like kind of like whatever you can get, like you'll try to deal with it and then not try to address like I guess underlying problems that like fuck up shit down the line. It was more so like we'll like deal with it and then try to tough it out for XYZ versus us, we're like less tolerant of that shit.
Let's say, like, not that I have a person in mind. Let's say more likely older generations. Let's say they have a bad like relationship. They're more likely to stick it out just so that their kids don't have to deal with that. Let's say a more recent generation. They're like, this is not working out for us too. We're gonna choose us over the younger generation.
Yeah.
But like rarely do you see that with like the older generation where they say, "Oh, fuck the kids." It's how we feel.
It's just
Yeah.
more, yeah, they're more selfish nowadays, definitely. As generation goes by, like the older generation are more for like family oriented, like they care about their people more. Now it's more selfish wise. Like, dude, if you ask your parents back then, like, what'd you guys do with the money? Like, oh, I give back to my family. Nowadays, like, you ask people, what do they do with their money? Oh, I go travel, go have fun and stuff like that. They're more in for their own experience nowadays because they see from social media and like, or like just so any like internet platform that they have so many options that they can do, you know. But back then you don't see like all those options. Like you don't have internet to see like, oh, I could do this with my money. Dude, you think about it. If our parents saw like what they could do with their money instead of just helping out their family, they probably would have done that shit instead too. You know what I mean? And I think it's just more options nowadays because they see it. It's like so easy to see, so easy to reach. You know.
And we can relate that to another thing. So like you see like most like older generations, their goal was get together with someone, then have kids, continue that. Versus, I feel like more recently now, there's a lot more people that are willing to just get into a relationship, be content with not having kids, and just enjoying each other.
Yeah.
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 Where it's like a more selfish. I won't even say selfish, but like they're not thinking past that. And I don't know. That definitely wouldn't relate to the soft part, but I think it's like a different way of like putting your responsibilities, or like I don't know what responsibility.
No, I'll say it's selfish. I'll say it's selfish. I say it's selfish when you don't reproduce. Alright, for the reason being, okay? Let me tell you something. Think about this, okay? Your parents and all the generations before worked their ass off for you. And it comes down all the line, the whole family tree, like boom, grandpa, great grandpa, mom, dad, it's to you. And you cut off all that legacy when you don't have a kid.
Yeah.
And you already know your parents are going to be happy with grandchildren. And they're going to spread their legacy. And you're going to keep continuing the family name and everything. You put respect on your family's name. Like, you keep striving for the best. And you cut it off right there and then. I think that's selfish. Personally, I think that's selfish because, dude, all those generations come down to you and you cut it all off. Your family name, the last name. Like, for Asian, it's such a big thing. Like, that's why they brag about, like, every time the Asian parents get together, oh, my son went to, like, Berkeley or da-da-da-da, has a job at this, da-da-da-da. Like, you're the family name, dude. You hold the flag, you know what I mean? You hold the torch. You hold everything for the family. You cut it off right there and then, you're, like, disappointing everybody. That's why it's such a downer when girls don't have a husband at, like, ages 40, 30, like, 50, because nobody wants them, and they can't reproduce, and then they can't keep the family legacy going on. That's why it's such a downer in the Asian community, at least in the Asian community, right? So that's why I think it's a selfish thing, but more so, like, everybody in, like, Italy or, like, countries that are developed now have less kids nowadays, right? Like they pay you to have kids nowadays, you know,
Yeah.
like in, like, Italy or Germany, because they're not reproducing. Everybody just likes their selfish, like, joy, like having their own experiences and stuff, and not having a burden, because some people see kids as burden, you know what I mean? So it comes down to, like, oh wow, you're just selfish, you know, like, you don't want to take care of people other than yourself. You just want to have your own fun experiences. You want to use your money on yourself. You don't want to use your money for your children. You don't want to make your parents happy with your children or, like, whatnot, you know? It just boils down to being selfish with all the options they have nowadays.
Do you think it's a culture thing, or more so like a generational thing?
It's definitely a generational thing. I think generational thing, especially with all the social media, internet, everything's so easily accessible. You can literally get a plane ticket with a click of a button on your phone. You can spend your money, like, through Amazon app, boom. You're not gonna, like, back then they have so, like, when they work, you know, they try to pour back to their family. They don't pour back to themselves, you know?
Yeah.
So I think the reason for like why that's the case is because realistically thinking, we can't change our parents, and for us to get the satisfaction of change is either our parents or us. And since we can't get our parents, we're just ending up changing ourselves. Because let's say, like, my dad, like, how he is, like, stubborn or whatever, like, judgmental. Like, I've told my mom this and stuff like that, and then, like, for my mom, she gives the excuse, like, that's how he is. He's been like that for so and so many years. Don't try so much to change them. And then, like, once I lose that option of changing them, I'm only left with the option of changing myself.
Yeah, that's basically what it boils down to. Like, you know, if, like, our parents, like my parents, my dad too, like, stubborn, you know, they always think they're right and stuff like that. Like, if you can't change them, like, dude, you're gonna change yourself, you know. But I don't think it has to boil down to the point where, like, oh damn, you don't hold any of your family values or, like, any of that. But I hope that never gets to the case, you know. What do you think, Justin?
Do you think you're gonna be like your dad, or do you think you're gonna be different? Whatever like qualities it is.
I was gonna probably be like my dad.
You think so?
Bum ass.
Lame ass loser.
No, I'm probably be like my dad. I think how he raised me was the right way. Like, he didn't set too high of expectations, but he just asked, like, is this the best that you can do, no matter what grade I got? And he just asked, like, if I got a C, and then I said, yeah, that's probably the best I can do because I'm super lazy. But he'd be like, well, I don't think that's the best you can do. I think you do a little better. But he wouldn't set an expectation like, oh, it has to be like an A plus or an A.
Okay.
So I'll probably pass that on to my, like, kids, like, just do your best, but I think you do better if I don't think you're doing your best.
Okay.
And like he wouldn't like try to like force
something,
me
force
into
you.
like a career I wouldn't want to do.
But you're only talking about career wise. I'm talking about like behavior wise as well. Because like for the most part, every time you ask about Asian, like it's always career wise, pay wise. But let's talk about like behavior, emotions, like morals. What do you think about that?
That's a good one.
Because Asians only care about career and pay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They ask you, oh, your daughter's dating this guy. How much does he make? What does he do? That's the first question that comes to mind. But what about like how good of a person he is? Like, do you think your dad raised you to be a good person or whatnot? And did you take a lot of stuff from him?
I took the drinking from him. Yeah, I think moral wise, he's like just like more of a just trying not to get into conflict, just let things go. And I probably like do the same thing too. Like I wouldn't like if something like someone did something bad to me, I wouldn't like jump to the first conclusion of confronting them and try and get into like an argument or a fight. If it's something like small, then just let it go. It's not too big of a deal. And let's see, like I'll probably like hold on to his values. Like, fuck, this sounds super misogynist, but guys should do the guy things and girls should do girl things. Like,
Agree.
hold on to those stuff too. And probably like he was harder on me, but easier on my sisters. Like they had more freedom to do whatever they want to do. He was able to pay he bought them their cars, pay for insurance, pay for like everything under gas as well throughout college. But then he told me as soon as I got out of high school, I'd pay for myself and get a job. I'll probably do the same thing too. Just so like I think for other reasons on stuff I don't want to get into a tangent of, but like just because I don't want my son to be spoiled, but I'd rather spoil my daughter than my son. So I'll probably like hold those values as well.
Do you think that's because you expect that from other people too?
What do you mean?
So let's say you expect everyone else to like make sure their guy is like any son is good, right?
Yeah.
So you have that reliance like, oh, even if my daughter is not fine, she'll get with someone to like hold that. Because you're saying like, oh, you believe that guys and girls should have like their roles, right?
Yeah.
So in a way, you're kind of expecting other people to do that too, right?
Oh, like if my daughter could make it in life, then she could rely on another guy to do it for her.
Kind of. If like you expect like guys to have that like, I wouldn't say dominant, but like that like much protection over the girl. Like you said, you want the guy to be your son in the future to be the man, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You expect that from other people. That's why you don't have that same thing for your daughters, because you expect other likewise.
No, it's actually kind of the opposite. I would spoil my daughter to know that she could get whatever she wants. So she doesn't rely on a guy to like manipulate her, saying, "Hey, I could buy you whatever you want if you do this for me." No, like my dad already buys me everything I want. So you have to bring in something that is other than money, like moral values.
Oh, okay. So give her everything,
That
and then
she can have so that other guys cannot manipulate her.
so basically you're setting the bar higher for your girls.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
It's like literally what my parents did with my sister. She takes it the wrong way.
Yeah, I feel like if you do that though, like, what happens if it goes like the wrong way, where like you spoil them to the point where they think they're, I guess, like entitled to shit.
Like she'll expect this and that. Like my
Yeah.
dad does this and this for me. Like
Where like
she'll end up like her standards are like, I wouldn't say so high, but like definitely like
Okay.
it could
well,
be unreasonable.
obviously, it has to go both ways. Like, if she expects me to give her something, I have to expect her to act a certain way and do stuff that I expect her to do.
Okay,
like-
so I guess spoiled is not like as like to the extent that we're saying.
Well, like it's spoiled because like I'm not giving her as much as I would give my son, because my son is gonna be the one who's like gonna have to like work extra hard for what he has to earn what he wants, right?
Okay.
But my daughter I could give her like just enough for her to do what she wants, right? But then she has to also like reciprocate in doing stuff that I want. But my son just has a little harder because I'm not getting the same amount of like resources as I would give my daughter. So like in terms of like, oh, what if she like becomes self-entitled? Well, then I'm gonna cut her off because you're not reciprocating what I wanted from you.
Okay, so you'll never let it get to that point.
Yeah.
okay, I see. Interesting.
Well, we all grow from an Asian family with like sons and daughters, because all of us have sisters, so we already know how like
Yeah.
we don't get treated the
Like,
same.
does your parents treat you the same way as your sisters?
No, it was very different
But
for sure.
but I think it has something or it depends on we talked about the sibling thing, like younger sister and older sister. Like let's say for Ray's situation, he has an older sister. I feel like his sister was definitely more like trained is not the right word, but like pushed towards like being independent. My sister likewise was not pushed as hard for that because I'm there.
I think that's more so like older sibling versus younger sibling thing versus
I don't
like-
think it comes like
like
it's
older
easier to
sister-
story, though.
you know older sister versus like older brother, you know, like, or vice versa. And I think it's like whoever comes first. Like for me, like if whoever is the older sibling usually has to, I guess, be like a little like the pioneer for, you know what I mean, that like I guess like sets the standard or like kind of leads the way, and then usually it is like the younger sibling that kind of gets it, or usually does get it easier in a sense.
Regardless of gender.
Yeah, regardless of gender. I don't know if you could think the same way, but
Do you think you got it easier?
No.
No?
No, I got it like 20 times harder.
oh,
That's why I know how to do like everything.
yeah. For me, I felt like it was flip flop. Like I felt like Desiree got it a lot harder, but I felt, at least for me, I wasn't like oblivious. Like I knew what was going on. You know what I mean? Like if I was fucking like oblivious to what's going on and then just like accepted how things are, like oh I'm getting it easy, but I don't like think I'm getting it easy. Then it's
Yeah.
like I feel like you don't learn anything out of
This
it.
is what I know.
You're supposed
The
to
guys
be
gets
a
it hard. Because my two older sisters got it easy.
Uh-huh.
I got it hard, and then my younger sister gets it easy. Nah, that's fucked up.
So it's definitely
It's definitely
pick and choose.
yeah.
I think Raymond was supposed to be a daughter.
Or-
Yours is a special case scenario.
Or
bro.
like I felt like my parents were easier because they were just like they just did so much, or like there was that much harder, you know, on my sister. But like at least I guess it worked out for me because I was like conscious of what was going on versus if I was oblivious about it, then I feel like I'd be not in the same place as I was. You know, like you wouldn't be as like
Do you think that has to do with age gap?
Yes,
how
yes.
different are you from your older sister? Yours was
So oldest one is 5 years. My other older one is 3 years.
youngest.
Youngest
That's
is 3 years.
3 years apart. Okay. I think for that, I feel like since there's such a big gap, they felt as if like they had to train you versus like for Raymond's like they're close enough where like they didn't have to do.
I think you got it mixed up. I think his is based off age gap because both the parents had to teach it, like his sister, and then 5 years later, like he gets 3 parents, his 2 parents and then his sister teaching him.
Well,
That's why I think it's
how,
easy.
how big's the age gap again?
for me it's 3.
It's 3.
Or like
But-
3 years.
But yeah, but like for me at least it was always the case where like my
3
sister
years.
was always like
it's 3 years.
the third parent.
Because they're both in school at the same time for high school.
Yeah, it was 3
Oh,
years.
okay.
So-
I was a freshman, she was a
So
senior.
the way I see it for Justin's case, 5 years is such a big gap where like they don't feel like, how do you say? It'll be like
No, I feel like it's a gender thing towards him. It's a gender thing towards him and me, but it's an age thing for him. Because like,
your
Gender.
sister. How many years? 2.
no, 1.
1.
Yeah, but I got way harder. So it's like that's a gender.
Oh, okay,
That's a gender
okay.
issue. His is like gender because he's a guy, but each age gap that all 3 sisters get it way easier than him. But for him, it's like it's age gap.
Since
because-
they're so like.
I mean, it was 3 years for me, but I think they were hard on my sister to the point where like they just expected her to be the one to like teach me like all the shit. You know,
Your
They kinda like
your
just dump the
oldest-
responsibility.
Your older sister didn't get it hard at all, like the very oldest.
She got it hard compared to her
The second.
sisters. Right?
Okay.
But compared to me, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I
but
guess.
if you were to ask them, they'll say they got it harder than me because I was able to go out whenever I wanted.
But I feel like by that.
But that's
point,
something.
by that point, they kind of not gave up, but like they put the responsibility on your sisters afterwards, right? Like you got that freedom because like they don't.
I got the freedom because I'm a guy.
yeah, that's the same way
Yeah.
for me. That's the same exact way for
And-
me.
I think so. Yeah,
My
too.
dad will say it too, like, oh, like, he won't say it up front. He'll be like, oh, well, your brother hangs out with other guys, so I don't think anything bad is happening to him. But you're gonna hang out with one other girl, so you probably should go home early.
Yeah, that's the same thing for me. Like, dude, my parents will stay up till like 4 a.m. if my sister's out, just to wait for her to come home. I stay out till like 7 a.m. They're already asleep by 12. You know?
And I wouldn't get a phone call.
and then like I get to go out since I was like a sophomore in high school. My sister barely started going out when she was like a sophomore in college.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess
That might be a more gender thing.
That's why I think ours is
I-
gender thing.
I think it's also situational because you know, like the other night we had poker night, right?
Huh.
My dad was texting me, "Hey, it's 2:30. You got work tomorrow." I'm like, "Yeah, no."
Yeah, then maybe it is situational. Yeah, it is situational because for him it's the age thing, ours is like gender thing, and then yours is like a.
No, it just depends on their mood. Like honestly, like it just depends on their mood. Like I was like, he texted me, "Hey, it's 2. It's kind of getting late." I was like, "Yes." And then like he just goes like, and then it's like, "It's 2:30 now." Yes. But like, oh dude, that's not even. That's like a whole different issue, dude. It goes to like our situation with like our other friend, right? So for me and them, the one problem I have is that I'm guilty before innocent. Right? So let's give the perception of me with work, right? I'm staying out late, whatever, right? If I'm staying out late but I still make it to work, no problem.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, I'm tired, but that's on me.
Yeah.
Why are you putting so much like even if it is like they care for me, yada yada. And at the end of the day, if I tell you like if I can deal with it, why shouldn't that be cool?
Maybe they just care.
Yeah, I think for parents, like they'll just like they just want you to like be the best or like do the best, or like I guess they like care about you, like your own well being. So they'll be like, regardless if I show up to work or like regardless if I showed up to work tired, like they'll still want you to like I guess be like feel the best. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You want to fix your hair a little bit? You look a little.
Oh what? What?
I don't know. From my angle, it was like, oh damn, it's literally just
A little fucking bowl cutting and shit.
Oh, weird ass.
That's a good topic, right?
Yeah. No, honestly, like these this podcast probably have the best questions out of all the podcasts ever. Because they're so like fuck, I don't know, it's really balanced. It's not more like relationship or girls wise, it's more like
That
other
one,
shit
that I say those questions for another time because
Yeah.
like that's why I was like picking and choosing.
these ones are really good. This podcast is really good.
Let me try to look for another one.
Especially when we expose Ray for him being a shitty ass friend.
Yeah.
That was a really good-
that was a good one.
Dude, no.
Now I know, like, I can't really trust this guy.
What?
These topics were really good.
No,
This
okay.
session.
If you guys actually perceive
Now I
it that
can't
way,
wait to go home and talk to Nate.
if you guys perceive it that way, okay, that means I worded it really bad. Oh,
You'll probably have to word it another time. You don't have to fix it now.
Oh,
Just
fuck.
think about it.
oh god.
Yeah, Ryan, these are really good topics though, for really good.
Alright, I think let me look for one more that doesn't have to go too big of a time.
2 hours. Pretty good.
Yeah, we're recording on hour 40, right? And then like I don't know, I might if I don't sign off because you know Jimmy Zhang.
Huh.
He does like one fat session, and then he splits it into multiple episodes.
Oh. Okay.
So I don't know.
Like 10-hour session and then.
Some like 3 hours and cut it into 3 1-hour shits.
Jesus Christ, that's fucking long.
Yeah, I'll see. I don't know. I might just keep it like a big one for the first one.
This one, yeah, this one's like I'll say solid like 9 out of 10 on topics, or 9.5, or even 10. There's like super diverse. They're like everywhere.
We'll see. If I can't find one, then I'm cool with ending it where it was.
We can just end it. It's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're pretty good. A lot of good topics today.
Damn shit. I'm a shitty friend now. Fuck.
You are.
Fuck you.
Alright. Alright. We'll just end it here, and I'll sign us off. I'm your host Brian. I'm joined with
Ethan.
Raymond.
Justin.
and we'll see you guys on the next episode of Poor Decisions.
Yes, sir. Whoa. That was good.